Were you nervous? Are you one of these guys that wants that ball in that situation, or are you one of these guys that quick pass it off to somebody else?
Well,
you look pretty confident to me.
Well, that particular shot has pretty much my whole career in it. At one time in my...
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
My God, I had no idea.
Yeah.
The celebration was as San Antonio could get. Thousands and thousands grasping every bit of the fiesta that took 26 years to take place. And boy, it was sweet. Jaren Jackson probably contracted whiplash from shaking his head so much. Malik Rose slapped 5 with everyone within reach. Tim Duncan had that grin on his face. Then they took it over to the Dome, where it was time for A.J. and David to shine, just as they had in that building so many times before.
When I came here 10 years ago, one of the reasons I came here is because y'all had a tradition. The name I knew was George Gervin. I knew a little bit about an artist Gilmore and a Johnny Moore. I knew a little bit about Mike Mitchell and the Blues Brothers. I want to thank those guys for laying that foundation for us here in San Antonio. They're part of this championship. Thank you.
I just want to ask you a question. Did the Lakers win the championship? Did the Portland Trail Blazers win the championship? All right, I think I got it right. Did the Utah Jazz win the championship? Hey, for the Utah Jazz, it's all right. Say hell no. I just want to ask you a question. I've been waiting 11 years for this, and some of y'all been waiting longer. But did the San Antonio Spurs win the championship?
It was perhaps the happiest day ever in San Antonio. Of course, there was that night, Friday, June the 25th, around 10:50 p.m., when Avery Johnson gave the Spurs the lead with a jumper from the corner with 47 seconds to go. Followed 5 minutes later by the defense stepping up one last time, denying Latrell Sprewell and securing the first ever NBA championship for the Spurs and the city of San Antonio. Downtown suddenly transformed into Times Square at the stroke of midnight on New Year's Eve. The party was on.
It's an absolutely incredible experience. And, Kobe, can you believe they're already talking about repeat? Let's enjoy this one for a while. Avery Johnson. I love Sean's reaction, though. He says, I'm all worn out. I blew my fuse when I came in the locker room.
And, of course, there was a bit of celebrating going on back in a small locker room in the Big Apple. San Antonio TV stations followed the Spurs closely during the course of the playoffs, and once the finals hit, it was an all-out media blitz. However, that was nothing compared to the night the Spurs won it all. TV coverage lasted well into the morning and continued when the Spurs arrived to about 20,000 screaming fans.
This is unbelievable. My heart is beating 1,000 times a minute. And we just want to thank each and every one of you. You, each and every one of you, everybody. We love y'all.
And, of course, it was lights, camera, action for all Spurs TV on that hot yet beautiful Sunday afternoon when the team was paraded through the Riverwalk and then capped the season at the Dome. Did you really read all about it? Headlines screamed, writers picked the finals apart, and any way they analyzed it, the Spurs were the best team in the NBA. No doubt about it, right? The club added several key new faces in hopes of bringing a championship attitude to a team that was full of potential, yet had come up short of their goal. The adjustment period was a frustrating ordeal for players and fans alike. However, when it clicked, we heard it. The date was March the 2nd, and the opponent was the rival of rivals for the Spurs, the Houston Rockets. After a crushing loss to Utah only 2 days earlier in the Dome, it was time for the Spurs to do a gut check. Boy, did they respond. Tim Duncan snapped out of a funk, scoring 23 points and pulling 14 rebounds. Avery Johnson put up 18 with 13 assists, and Mario Elie returned to Compact Center and stuck his old teammates with 15 points.
Mario Elie, three-pointer Mario, bang! Mario Elie with another three. He's got all the threes.
When the smoke had cleared, the Spurs had crushed their I-10 rivals 99-82. The march was on.
Did someone say March? A 14-2 mark during the month shot San Antonio from 4th place in the Midwest to 2nd, just a game and a half behind the Utah Jazz. In 1 month, the 6-8 start became a distant memory.
Some victories in March came via the blowout. Just ask the Nuggets, who lost consecutive games to the Spurs by a combined 49 points. Then there were the squeakers, especially on March the 12th in Phoenix. The Spurs had flirted with defeat, squandering away a 16-point lead going into the fourth quarter. When Jason Kidd's errant shot eventually found its way to the basket, the Spurs' current 5-game winning streak looked tenuous at best. That is until Sean Elliott came to the rescue.
Elliott's going to have a good look here to win the game. Good! Yes. The Spurs win the game!
Oh, my goodness.
Sean Elliott saves the overtime and wins it in regulation.
At the time, that huge shot at the America West Arena signified the comeback of Sean Elliott. After surgeries to repair chronic tendonitis in both quads, there were questions as to whether the two-time All-Star would ever be the same. In 1999, there was no denying Sean Elliott. The trademark explosive first step was back, and he was strong enough to create and bury the jumper late in the game. After playing just 76 games over a 2-year period, Elliott did not miss a single game.
Sean Elliott was really our most important acquisition last year. If you think of it in terms of him not being there the 2 previous years because of injury, his ability to shoot, to play defense, to break people down, was really important for us to have the season we had and the playoffs that we had. He's a very special young man who has gone through a lot and really proven himself to be a big-time winner.
AJ gets it, goes to Sean, baseline three, bang!
We know the Spurs took home their 10th Midwest Division championship, jumping several hurdles and adapting like they've never adapted before. Of course, we're referring to David Robinson, the Admiral, the former MVP and scoring champion, one of the top 50 players in the history of the NBA.
David Robinson is one of the most selfless players and people that I've ever been around. He still maintains top quality play. He does it with class. He cares only about winning and his teammates. And he sets an example for anybody in sport to follow. Without him, we don't get to this point.
David Robinson finally achieved what everyone thought he deserved. Nice guys can finish first. However, it wasn't just a prize for Big Dave. There were others who had a long journey to the NBA title, namely Avery Johnson.
Avery Johnson. Big hoop for Avery Johnson.
Yeah, you talk about the true poetic justice. Here's a guy, all his career been told you're not going to be able to play. I mean, in high school and college and never had a multi-year contract until the last time he was with the Spurs when Pop signed him to a 3-year contract. And now not only does he take us to the finals, but he makes the game-winning shot. I mean, it still gives me goosebumps to talk about it.
He is truly the little general. He has given us a basis for always believing that we can do things if we just keep working at it, and he has been really special in that regard.
His performance on the court was always passionate. Avery was 4th on the team in scoring with just under 10 points a game, and he doled out nearly 7.5 assists an outing. He gave the team fire and leadership. Avery also helped the team improve their chemistry by persuading his friend, Mario Elie, to join the Spurs.
The former Houston Rocket Elie brought a certain edge to the Spurs, a bit of attitude, a bit of swagger that had been missing. Mario Elie proved nightly that he could put his money where his mouth is, especially when it came to playing his old teammates.